Welcome back, everybody. So on to my next question from a really good buddy of mine's on here. Mark S. 501 Tim, he wants to know, do you believe in gay marriage? And if yes, would you have a wedding with the man of your dreams? First thing first, Mark, thanks to all the great comments. Been really nice. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe in gay marriage. At first, though, when that hot topic started, like back in 2000, I wasn't really for it because I kept thinking to myself, why do we gotta be like straight people for, leave marriage for straight people? If you love someone, why do you need a ring and a piece of paper to prove your love? But then I thought about it and I kept thinking, you know what? Marriage protects a relationship, in terms of benefits, in terms of, for an example, if my lover's in a hospital, I won't be able to see him because I'm not considered a spouse or a family member. So in that sense, yeah, marriage does protect our rights as a couple, and I'm all for that, definitely. And I'm so happy with what happened in California, and I'm hoping that it happens in New York. I have a feeling it will because our Governor Patterson, he's really for gay rights. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the near future. Thanks for the question. Now, on to my next question. New Rome City asks me, WrestleMania 25, Vince McMahon has put you in charge. Book 7 matches. Interesting question. So let me take my book out because I was thinking about this and I did it really fast, so I'm hoping I did it good. But definitely the main event for me would be Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 25 is going to be in Houston. They're both from Texas. This would be a big draw. Now, Undertaker has never beaten Shawn Michaels on the pay-per-view. Shawn Michaels has kind of owned Undertaker on pay-per-views. So this would be a great match, back and forth action. Everyone would be on the seat of their pants knowing, oh, who's going to win this? But I'm thinking and guessing that I would say Undertaker would finally get his win over Shawn Michaels and still remain undefeated at WrestleMania. My next match would be Fatal 4-Way for the women's title. We'll have champion Mickie James defending it against Beth Phoenix, against Kay Lee, and against Natalya. 4 of the great women's wrestlers in the WWE. This would be a phenomenal match. Everyone knows I'm a huge women's wrestling mark, so this would be great. I would want to see Natalya win the title because I love Natalya. My third match would be for the ECW title, triple threat match, like we've seen a rematch at Night of Champions. Kane, Mark Henry, and Big Show. I think these 3 could work well together. They had a kind of iffy match yesterday because Kane did get hurt, but I want to see these 3 work well together because they're all 3 big guys, and we'll see what happens with that. And that's also a throwaway match. My fourth match would be Money in the Bank. We gotta have a Money in the Bank match. So the participants will be Mr. Kennedy, Sheldon Benjamin, John Morrison, Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal, Kofi Kingston, and Matt Hardy. This kind of match, Money in the Bank, should have like young people in it and also stars in the making, which will make things great. And I would want to see Mr. Kennedy win the Money in the Bank again. So I would hope Mr. Kennedy will win it. Now on to some singles matches for the heavyweight title. Well, first things first, I will have Cena versus Batista, number 1 contender match for Raw. Winner of that will be the new number 1 contender. Cena and Batista has never faced each other on a pay-per-view. They never had a one-on-one match. So this is bound to happen now that both guys are on Raw. This is bound to happen. So we may see this at SummerSlam. You never know. But I want to see them at WrestleMania. I think they might have a decent match. Now on to the heavyweight title matches. CM Punk versus Triple H for the World Championship for Raw. Now CM Punk will obviously cash in his Money in the Bank here, and I think young and up-and-coming superstar against the Mr. Politician himself, Triple H. I would want to see CM Punk go over here. That would be so phenomenal if CM Punk won the heavyweight title. Will it ever happen in real life? Remains to be seen. And last but not least, my main event. This may piss people off, but I don't care. Edge defending the world heavyweight title against Jeff Hardy. An Edge Jeff Hardy program would be phenomenal. It would be awesome, fresh, something that we've never seen before. These 2 will work well together. They've done so many TLC matches against each other, so this will be really good to see, and I would want to see this happen. And of course, I would want to see Edge win because I don't think Jeff Hardy's ready to be the heavyweight champion because he's too unreliable with his past drug history. So there you go, New Rome City. Hope you enjoyed it. Alright, next question. Let's see. I can never pronounce your names. I'm just going to spell it out. HDYUFFUHVU wants to know, what current game am I playing right now? As of last week, I bought Top Spin 3. I'm a huge tennis fan, and I bought this game last Tuesday, and let me tell you, this game is fucking hard as hell. The controls are completely different. They completely change it up around. I'm still learning it as I learn it little by little, but I'm starting to win a couple of tournaments now, so I'm starting to get the hang of it. But yeah, this game is hard like hell, but I'm not going to give up on it and take it back to GameStop. I'm going to keep it and see what happens. So thanks for the question. Alright, next question we have here from JRUMPI. He wants to know, hey, why does Vince thinks like it's the 80s? I mean, the wrestling style now is different than when Hogan and Warrior and Macho Man were around. Why? I mean, now today the fans are now into fast-paced wrestling, high-flying, not power, old-school submission wrestling. My question, why is WWE not producing the new style of wrestling and giving us slow power wrestling? People want to see new things. Do you agree? Well, I gotta say, I think Vince has been trying to give us the new kind of wrestling. You know, the high-flying style is always going to be in, but you got to understand something. Not everyone can do high-flying wrestling. You know, that's like a crash and burn kind of thing. You got to slow pace yourself down, because if you keep doing high-flying stuff or hardcore type of action, the risk of getting injured more and more is going to increase. So in terms of like Vince still thinking of like the 80s, I wouldn't say that necessarily. You know, you're going to always have your big muscle guys in WWE doing power moves, and you're going to also have your technical wrestlers as well, which is always a good thing. You know, wrestling shouldn't always be about high pace, high risk maneuvers, because it's like a one-trick pony there. You know, you got to see some basic wrestling. So I don't agree with your statement a little bit, but I do tend to agree that yes, Vince does like the old school type of wrestling, but he's trying to get more and more into high flying stuff. But you also have to understand, like I was telling you, high risk maneuvers injures people more, so that's why they try to slow it down. Like with Rey Mysterio, they're trying to slow him down now because he's been injured so many times that they're trying to cut him down from doing high flying moves. So thanks for the question, hope I answered it right. Now Hourglass Z wants to know, at WrestleMania 25, I think a good match would be Edge versus Mr. Kennedy for the Heavyweight Championship. Do you agree? Now, you know, with the right build-up, this could be a great match. You know, we all can't forget what happened. Edge did beat Mr. Kennedy for the Money in the Bank briefcase a year ago, so because Mr. Kennedy was hurt and they needed to take it off him, so Edge took it. So Mr. Kennedy can go with that and try to be like, you know, get revenge on Edge for taking his Money in the Bank and taking away his opportunity. So that can play well, and they could have work a really good program, I think. But with Triple H on SmackDown currently, I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, a Kennedy Edge program would be really, really good to see, and would be very new and fresh, and I think the fans would really enjoy it. So yeah, I think that would be a great match for a WrestleMania match. Thanks for the question. Alright, let's see. Next we have Taker is Awesome wants to know, hey, I have a wrestling question for you. When Undertaker retires in a few years, do you think he should go out like Flair or be destroyed by a superstar close to him like Kane? Well, I can only imagine what kind of send-off Undertaker is going to have. He's going to have a grandiose occasion send-off, because he is the man in WWE. He's like the father figure backstage. Everyone respects and loves the Undertaker so much. So I can only imagine that he will have like a Ric Flair send-off. I can't see him getting his ass beat or getting his character killed. Then again, you never know with the WWE, but I definitely see Undertaker having like a Ric Flair kind of send-off, because he meant so much to WWE for the past 18 years. So thanks for the question. Now, I think this is my part 3, so stay tuned for part 4, folks. Catch you soon.